Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew First Culture podcast. This is Jeremy. And as I always like to say, thank you very much for spending some time with me today. And I really appreciate it. There's so many things that you could be doing, or maybe you're listening while you're doing other things, but there are lots and lots and lots of great content out there. And so for you to pick me in at this time, it means the world to me. So thank you. So apparently my podcasting skills are pretty rusty, as I guess they should be. I set and recorded 30 something minutes worth of an episode yesterday and put it out, and it did not record anything. It was just blank. And so after somebody let me know that that's what it was, I took it down, and here we go again. We're going to jump back into it and try it again. So one more thing, I recorded an episode last week that I planned on putting out, and that one was a pretty emotionally charged topic for me. I was had a lot of passion attached to it, and a lot of just really, I don't know, it's one of those topics where I got really into it, and I want to make sure that I didn't say something that I will regret putting out there. So I'm going to listen to it again before I put it out. I'll try to use that as the next episode. But anyway, just so when you hear something and it sounds like, I'm saying a little bit of the same stuff, just because it's been a while, and I kind of planned on using that one as the coming back episode. But so today, after my needless ramblings for a couple minutes, I just want to talk about something that I'm really excited about, and that's one of the classes that I've been really kind of fine tuning and preparing over the past year. I had this class ready last year for a Fools conference in Oklahoma City that I gave, and I felt good about it. I felt like, the audience, they were involved and they seemed to enjoy it. And so I also have two conferences this year that I'm set to give the same class at. And one of them, or at least the first one, was the Revolutionary Fire Tactics Conference at Lake Ozark, which was a couple weeks ago. And so, a week or two before that, I pull up the PowerPoint just to kind of refresh myself and get back into it, make sure I am at least I know the flow of the class. And I started looking at it, and it just wasn't it wasn't doing it for me. I felt like it was missing. It was missing the points and the reason for the class. And so with a week left before I was going to give it, I basically tore it to pieces and completely started over. But I'm really glad that I did, because I feel like this this new version of the class really, it fits the purpose for it. It really answers the questions that I wanted to help the class answer. And so I'm really excited. I was excited about it back the first time, but now even more so, because I feel like it really hits on the purpose that I want to spread, and the message I have to spread. And so that being said, the class is called Impact Beyond the Firehouse Walls. And basically it trying to look at the kind of the subtopic. It says going outside of your department district lines to reach your full potential. So that's a pretty good summary of it. It's a class that we sit down and we talk about the struggles that we have in our own departments, as far as why we can't truly reach a full potential. What is holding us back? What are some areas that just keep us from doing all the good that we really want to? then we kind of go into how we can maybe overcome some of those. But the majority of the class is discussing how we need to get outside of those district lines. I love my department. I've been there for 20 years. I it, I am so frustrated a lot of times at where we're at and just not knowing where we're going and things like that. But I love my department. I have put so much into my department, but I don't. uh, When I say that, I don't feel like I'm saying it owes me a lot. I owe everything to that department. It has kept me together when everything else in my world is falling apart. So I I truly care about that department, no matter what's going on. But it's not going to fulfill everything that I need in that part of my life. It's not going to allow me to truly reach and have the impact that I want to have. It's just not. So in order for me to find that, I've got to get out. I've got to go outside of that department and truly start to explore other avenues. And so that's what we really dig into. And so kind of as I was rebuilding this class, I heard Craig Rochelle give a comment, a quote that really kind of it started to tie some things together for me. And so this is his quote: "Your importance isn't measured by how much you do, but how much of what you do matters." And so that really kind of started making me think, and that's a little bit of the premise of what I am trying to, the message I'm trying to give with this class. But it didn't really sum it up perfectly for what I was wanting. And so as I thought about it more and, just kind of started writing some ideas out, this is the paraphrased Jeremy Sanders version of that quote that ties up and basically is the backbone of this class. And here we go. So our impact on others doesn't depend on how much we do and say. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. There's lots of people out there that we all know that just talk, and they're always busy. They're always busy and they're always talking, but they have no impact on our lives because there's no meat to what they're doing. So it doesn't depend on how much we do or say. So what does it depend on? This is it. Our impact depends on how authentic, how passionate, and how knowledgeable we are in what we do and say. So let that sink in as I say it again. Our impact on others doesn't depend on what we do or say or how much we do or say. It depends on how much, let me start over. It depends on how authentic, how passionate, and how knowledgeable we are in what we do and say. And so hopefully that kind of makes something click for you, because that's a big deal to me. And I think it's a big deal that a lot of people are missing. A lot of people want to do good things. They want to be a part of something special. They want to help others, but they're missing those three things, or at least one or two of the three things. If you're passionate about something and you're knowledgeable about something, but you're just kind of fake and you're not really authentic, you're not going to have that impact if you had all three. If you're authentic and you're really passionate about a topic, but you don't know really anything about it, you're not going to have that impact. And if you're authentic and you know a lot about stuff, but it's just not really something you're passionate about, once again, you're not going to experience that truly full impact is if you had all three. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a drink. And so, like I said, I think it's a really big deal for us to dig into. And so, no, in the interest of time, and hopefully, yeah, others will want to seek out this class because, like I said, I'm so excited about it. Just sitting and talking with different groups each time and kind of digging into it. But I'm not going to go through the whole class, but I am going to go through one of the most important parts of it. And really, that's finding our message. What what does that mean? This is a way that I kind of, and I've talked about it before, but I'll say it again. My mind, it's almost like I have to reinvent some things. Do I feel like I am an inventor of great new material, or mind bending and just jaw dropping ideas and information? No, absolutely not. But I I am just decent at kind of rewording things to where it makes sense to me. And so, a lot of the things I say and a lot of the things I put out and talk about, eh, it's all just recycled information, recycled knowledge, and just things that I've heard and learned from other people, mixed mashed and just kind of refurbished in my own ways, so that my mind kind of is able to wrap itself around the topic completely. And so, that being said, really, that's a long way of saying I'm not trying to act like I'm coming up with great new material here. Really, everything that I have, really everything I talk about, everything that I love and am passionate about, it's just a manifestation of everything that I've been taught and learned through life. And so, this is one of those things. I this is kind of a way that I visualize what my message is. And so, here you go. Your interests become what you're passionate about. So the things that you're interested in, the things that you are excited about, that type of stuff, that is what becomes your passion, the areas you're passionate about. Okay. So the next part, your life experiences become your story. And so that's a big piece of this. You know, my life experiences are completely different from every single person on this planet, even the people closest to me, even my kids, or the people that I have been around the most and longest. Nobody truly has experienced my story except for me. And so, it's important. Okay. The next part, your desire to help others becomes your mission. So, again, another important piece of this. And you can kind of twist this in whatever way you want to really verbalize what you truly feel is your mission. But just kind of generalizing it, we want to help people. We want to grow and become better and help others become better and be at the best skill and technique wise as we can when others need our help. So basically, that's just kind of a generalization. And so, here you go. Here's the summation of this. So when you share that passion and your story to fulfill your mission, this becomes your message. And so, just to kind of dig in a little bit more to explain it. So you got that passion, you got those areas that you're passionate about, that you're learning and you're becoming really interested in. And then you kind of mix it in with your story, the experiences that you've lived through, the life and the challenges that you have faced. And then you do that all in a way that is fulfilling your mission, which is to help others. That is what becomes your message. And so hopefully that makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. Maybe it doesn't to some, but that's what I truly feel like we need to find. We need to find our message. My message is not something that I can just kind of, you know, hear somebody that I really enjoy listening to, an instructor or a teacher or a pastor, whatever, and just, absorb that and that becomes my message. It's not going to work like that. Nobody's message is going to be mine because it has so many different pieces and all of these pieces are unique to me. And so that's what that's what we have to find, the mixture of what we enjoy and what we're passionate about and what we're knowledgeable about and what we've experienced, what we've lived through, what we have struggled with, and how we want to help others, how we want to grow, how we want to make ourselves, our family, and the fire service better. All of that wrapped up together, that is our message. And so that's what we really have to just kind of explore, have to look into our lives and see what fits into that. The one of the biggest things, one of the biggest parts of that is the passion area. You know, if we're talking or we're teaching or instructing areas that we aren't really passionate about, we don't really care much about, we're not really interested in, that's not going to be fun for anybody, especially us. No, during that class, that's kind of what I talked about, and I feel bad when I say this. I just do, but it's just me. It's the truth. If I was up there in charge of instructing people about some type of EMS class or some type of hazmat class, it would be awful. It would be miserable for not only the people sitting there listening to it, but for me having to give it to everybody because I don't have that passion. And so I'm not going to force myself into those areas that I don't have that, because that it takes away from my message. It's a deterrent for that impact. And so that's one of the biggest keys of all this. You got to start there. You got to start with what excites you. You're thinking about all the different things that you do to train on. Okay, so what are the areas that you are most excited when you get to do it? Are you most excited when you get to go out and flow water, or when you get to go out and force doors or throw ladders or do hazmat stuff or ropes, you know, technical rescue, special ops, dive, whatever it is? The fire service is amazingly dynamic, as we all know. And so, that being the case, there is an amazing amount of different areas we can get into. And so that's why it's so important for us to find that, because there's so many different areas. Well, that means that we need lots and lots of people to fit into all these different areas. I am not going to have the same interest as 80% of the people out there that are listening. And that's great, because if we all had the same interest, well, then there's going to be a lot of areas that are going to be neglected. And so that's the key, is just trying to find what we are truly passionate about and just start digging into that. Start learning more, trying to absorb as much knowledge and skill in those areas as we can, so that next we can start teaching. We can start spreading that knowledge and sharing that passion with others. And that's how we can make the fire service better. That's how each one of us can make the biggest impact possible. And like I said, it's going to be different for each of us. There's no way that I can sit here and give you a formula to truly have a great impact on others. I can't. It's that would be it would be inauthentic. It wouldn't work because so many people out there don't fit in to the mold that I am. So again, that's great. I There are lots of areas that I wish that I didn't fit into the mold that I was in. But just keep doing good things. I know that if you're listening to this right now, you are somebody that loves the fire service. You are somebody that is passionate about the fire service, about making it better, about making yourself better, growing and helping others become better. Who else listens to firefighter leadership based podcasts? That's not something that slugs do. And so I'm not trying to preach to the choir. I know that the listener base that I have probably reaching, you know most of this stuff, but it's still good to hear. But this is one thing I will say to kind of, you know, maybe end all of this on is you are the best hope for positive cultural change. You are. Now, like I said, the people listening to this right now, you're somebody that truly cares. You're somebody that truly wants to make a difference. So I 100% mean that. You are the best hope for positive cultural change. And that could mean in your department, that could mean in your shift. At the very least, it definitely means on your crew because, at the very least, that's the small circle that we can affect is our crews that we're on, that we're working with. And so just keep that in mind. Even if you don't see any change, even if you don't think that you're doing anything or making a difference, people are watching, people are listening, and you never know what you might say. You never know what you might do one day that just makes a difference in somebody's life, that helps them to step up, that helps them to open up and be honest about something that they need to talk about, or you know lights that fire within them to get re-engaged in the fire service. You never know. And going back to our story, that's part of that whole process that we have got to be more comfortable with. We have got to be more comfortable sharing our story. Not only the good things, not only the highlights, but sharing the bad parts of our story as well. Sharing the struggles that we've had, sharing the challenges that we've faced, because people need to hear it. Somebody out there is dying to hear what you have to say, what you have faced, what you have fought through, because they're either facing it right now themselves, or they're about to, or they are just getting past it. So it's very important for us to share that. That's all I got. Hopefully something I said kind of brought something to mind, that, some good thoughts, some maybe some ideas to discuss amongst your crews or your department, because I, I hope that I hope that these ideas and these ways that I'm just maybe saying something a little bit different strike something different in somebody, speak differently to somebody that maybe hadn't thought about it before. But this is how we make the fire service better, and so it's very important to me, and I really appreciate your time and sitting here and letting me talk about it. So thank you very much. Look forward to getting back into this, hopefully getting back into some social media. I am going to be giving this lecture at Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Safer Conference here on, I believe it's August the 10th. So here in a couple weeks. if you are up in that area or if you want to travel up in that area. I imagine there are still some seats available. So please look into that. Look into the classes. I know there are some great other instructors as well. One of my good friends, Benjamin Martin, is going to be there. Hopefully, I can sit in on one of his classes. I believe Jonas Smith will be up in there. I'm sure lots of others as well. But please come and see me if you would like to get more information on it and can't figure out what I'm talking about. Reach out to me and I will help you find what you need to. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great day, week, and whatever it is until next time we talk. So thank you. Enjoy yourself. And as always, stay humble and do work.